Her life.
It's her.
Okay. Faster than a speeding bullet,
You got it.
more powerful than a locomotive.
Something like.
I forget the rest of that, but you're good? Okay, good. Welcome to our special board meeting on Thursday, June 13th at 5:30 p.m. We'll do a call to order beginning over here.
Diane Potter, Molly Rogers, Linda Caputo, Alyssa Tracy.
Becky Fless.
Tony Beat,
Megan Carlson,
Sean Code.
Joanne O'Brien,
Administrative staff.
Pat Hopkins, Superintendent, Andrea Dish, Business Manager, Terry McGuire, Director of Technology, Sarah Boldick, Assistant Director of Special Services.
Thank you. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Prioritization of items and alteration of the established agenda format sequence as needed.
Yeah, I just want to make one quick adjustment, down under number 6, nominations. We have a nomination for the Assistant Director of Special Services, and I'd like to move that into an executive session at the end, which is what we typically do. So just to make it consistent with past practice, I want to turn that into an executive session. But other than that, I do not have any other changes, so that would be moved to following the policy committee.
So motion to adjust the agenda as needed.
So moved.
Second by Molly. Questions, comments? All those in favor? That just means you have to stay till the end of the meeting. So sorry. Approval of the agenda, approval of minutes of previous meetings. June 6th. So moved. Moved by Alyssa, second by Tony. Comments, questions? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Okie dokie. Computation and declaration of votes dated June 11th, 2024.
So in front of you, you have 2 board motions and some documents that you'll need to sign. The first motion is to approve or adopt the votes from our budget validation referendum. You have a document in front of you that starts with votes to be adopted by the school board. Once you have done that, the next document is the motion to approve assessment warrants and installment agreements. And those documents are basically invoices, for lack of a better word, or assessments to each of the 4 towns, the amount that they will owe based on our budget and their installment schedule. So all of the board members need to sign. So I'm hoping that the documents that are now with Joanne will make their way around the board room for everyone to sign.
So motion to proceed.
Yep, if you would please, votes to be adopted by the school board. Somebody could read that one.
I'd be happy to read the one that says, motion to approve assessment warrants and installment. No.
Nope, the other one first.
Yeah.
That
I do have.
Okay, yeah.
That
That the computation and declaration, is that one? All right, yeah, I move that the computation and declaration of votes dated June 13, 2024 and attached hereto be approved.
second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Does, there is a rest of that.
So do you wanna-
Will you, sorry,
Read all of it.
please.
Yeah, sorry, thank you, yeah. Further voted that the computation and declaration of votes be entered upon the records of Maine School Administrative District number 11. And further voted that a certified copy of the computation and declaration of votes be sent to each of the municipal clerks of the member municipalities within Maine School Administrative District number 11.
Second.
And I know that it says that it's attached here too, but they are actually in that pile being circulated, so you will all be able to see the computation of votes.
All those, do we have a second?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
These two, yep.
Thank
Yes.
you. Excellent. And
You want the
then-
other one too?
Please.
All right, I'm ready. Motion to approve the assessment of warrants and installment schedules. I move that warrant for assessment of tax and the assessment schedule and notice of installments for each member of municipality prepared by the treasurer for fiscal year July 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025 be approved and be issued in form presented in this meeting, and that the treasurer be authorized and directed to deliver to each member municipality its warrant for assessment of tax and its assessment schedule and notice of installments.
Second.
All those in favor? Excellent,
Yeah.
thank you. So that part's done. We have a budget. All right, correspondence,
As written?
excellent. Discussion and possible approval of a property and casualty and casualty, that's hard to do today. Insurance bid.
So I started the property and casualty insurance bid process back in, I want to say either February or March. It's a rather lengthy process. There's a pre-bid process where vendors are asked to be assigned, brokers are asked to be assigned insurance companies, because I can't have two brokers using the same insurance company to bid against each other. And then once that piece is done, the bid is sent out and the bids were received here back on May 28th. The day prior to the bid being due, I just backtrack. I had 3 brokers who requested bids. One of the brokers requested that he be able to use 2 companies, and I agreed, since none of the other brokers agreed to were interested in using 2 or those companies. So the day prior to the meeting, or the day prior to the bid rather, I received a phone call from the broker who had asked to use the 2 companies, the 2 insurance companies. And he informed me that both companies had declined to offer a bid based on our claims history. So for those of you who don't remember, we've had, I would call them a few claims this year, but most significant was the claim to the high school roof, which was very expensive. We are required by state statute to go out to bid every 5 years. So 5 years ago, when we did this process again, we had another very large claim. The wind, again, at the high school actually moved the gym wall, and we were in this very same predicament. However, at that point, nobody was refusing to bid on our property and casualty insurance bid. That being said, the district received 2 bids. One from our current broker and our current insurance provider, and the other from another company, or another, I guess, a company that we have used in the past that we were very happy with. The difference between the 2 bids is $49,000. And while it seems like this would be a no-brainer, there is more in the bid process than it just being based on the quote. According to the bid is based on 50% premium, 25% coverage and limits, and 25% services provided. So for those of you who have listened to me talk at finance, you have heard me discuss with finance my, for lack of a better word, unhappiness with our current insurance company. Last year, before we received our renewal, the broker was informed back in February that all of the rebids, or the packages for the new year were going up considerably. 20% or more. And I have a relationship with someone else who does business with the same company. He was notified in February that the bids were being increased. He reached out to all of their customers so they could prepare in the budget process. When I received our invoice for the new year, which is this year, our insurance went up by more than between $20,000 and $25,000. And that was only then that I found out that they had been informed and they had been asked to reach out to their clients. So I was unhappy. We would have been able to budget for the additional. This year has also been challenging. We've had a lot of claims, or what I would consider a lot of claims, and I feel like I've had to go to battle on every single claim, and honestly, it's been exhausting. You know, there was a situation, and there was a claim, for instance, there was an accident that clearly was not our fault, and I had to argue our case to our insurance company for it not being our fault. I know that $49,000 is a lot of money, difference between the claims. But I think that if we're being put in the place of having to or feel like we're being nickeled and dimed for every claim, it's just not a situation that I want to be in. Not feeling that there's a good trusted relationship. It's certainly not like the relationship that I had with my previous broker a year ago, who is not the second. I wanted you to know that this is not the second broker. It is not the relationship that I had with our previous broker. It was a relationship of trust where I knew that if I called with a concern or a question, I felt like I was given a straight answer. That is not this relationship. If it was, then I would have no problems accepting the lower bid. Pat and I have talked, and it is our recommendation to you, and I understand the additional cost, for you to allow us to use the higher of the two bids based on the services being rendered. So I want to let you know that I have budgeted in our budget $151,000 for property and casualty insurance. The bid that I would like for us to accept, or we are requesting that you allow us to accept, is about $199,000, which I realize there's a budget shortage, but we will try to find the difference. Because of the difference in price, and because one is high in price and low in service, and the other obviously is low in price, but low in service as well. I'm bringing the conversation to you so that we can have it here.
And publicly, you do have to say the name of the company.
So,
I was wondering that.
I'm trying. I'm trying not. So, our current insurance company is Cross Insurance, and the coverage is being provided by Liberty. And Liberty has been very difficult. The second bid, the higher of the two bid, is MSMA. So I just want to be clear that the company that we did work with 5 years ago was Kai's Insurance out of Farmington. That was the company that I was hoping that we would get a bid from. So I just want you to understand that it's not the relationship with the former that I'm trying to, and you get what I'm trying to say.
And when I speak to my colleagues who currently have the MSMA coverage, they're very happy with the coverage, with the service, with the customer service and what it covered and provides. So.
And yes, so years ago, when I first started here, we did have MSMA, and we were very happy with MSMA. The reason we left MSMA is the person who was heading their P&C at that time, and our business manager at the time, who was not me, had a
falling out.
A falling out, that's a good way to put it. So we moved away from MSMA. So
The rising, I understand we had a potential increase anyway because of our claim history or couldn't get coverage because of our claim history, which I don't agree with, but are other districts seeing that increase, general increase 20% or whatever?
You watch the news, there's a general increase across the nation for property and casualty insurance. I know that I've experienced it personally and I don't have any claims. A lot of it has to do with properties in Florida and California and all the destruction that we've seen. They have to recoup their monies from someplace. So we're all paying additional premiums. But you're right, part of our increase is also the large claims that when I go out to bid, I provide our 5-year claim history and they can see, everybody can see everything. So, yes.
Can you tell me the costs that the insurance companies paid out for the claims that we had in 23-24?
Not, I don't typically see that. We only get billed for the deductible. The deductible is rising and like I said to you, there has been back and forth about what they would cover in the claim, but I mean, as far as some of our claims here, it's been a struggle for me. It's been a struggle for Gabe. Gabe having to deal with the adjusters. It's not just my relationship with them, but Gabe's relationship. It's been difficult to work with Liberty.
And I can't tell you exactly, but if I recall, the last issue that we had with the roof in the last windstorm at the high school, I want to say it was close to $500,000. And then it was just 5 years ago, right, that we had, not only was it the wall in the gym, it was the gym roof as well.
Right.
And that was probably comparable in price.
Yeah, between
so.
$500,000 and $1 million.
Yeah.
Who would have thought wind could move a cement wall, but turns out it happens.
So do we have any sort of ongoing things that they're paying out for currently? Or like, would there be any sort of drop of coverage for anything that we're currently paying on?
They're
They are
currently still paying on repairs of the roof for the audit work that completed. I don't foresee a problem with them continuing to cover the things that they've agreed to cover, if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
But I think there are some small things that have not been fixed yet, repaired yet.
But I will say, we have a contract with that roofing company. And so we do regular maintenance. The issue didn't have anything to do with us not maintaining our building. It's just, it's old. It was an old roof. It's a flat rubber roof. And the wind happened to get underneath it and.
I'm not asking you the changing of insurance in these companies. Would there be any sort of loss of coverage or there would anything that we're currently paying?
No, I heard you. I wanted to make sure that people understand, and the audience understands that we do maintain the building. So I just wanted to be really, really clear that we have an ongoing contract with roofing companies to make sure that we're maintaining the roof. So despite this damage, it wasn't the result of us not maintaining our building. I just wanted to make that clear up.
Part of our
And-
long-range plan.
And further, we replace a portion of the roofs every year, so.
Yeah.
There is, you're right, it's not because of dereliction of. So,
Yeah. And doing it that way allows us to budget so that we,
Rather than
something.
doing an entire roof
correct.
at a time.
Are the deductibles between the two companies comparable?
So I'm the one who set the deductibles and when I go out to bid. So yes, the coverage is very, other than the price, coverage is comparable.
Because we can anticipate our needing to still file claims, so it's.
And just to clarify one other thing, we're anticipating MSMA would be less likely to sort of nickel and dime and have a.
We had a relationship with MSMA before. It was never you never had to argue.
Back and forth.
Well, especially when it's very clear, like the bus accident that we had, it was clearly not my fault. There was a driver that was driving, another driver that was driving without their headlights. So, to feel like we had to advocate for our company to advocate on our behalf is,
Not unreasonable.
no.
Yeah, okay, thank you, yeah.
You're welcome.
So a motion to accept Andrea's recommendation.
So moved.
Second. So many seconds. We'll give it to Meg. Any questions or comments? All questions are satisfied, I guess, is the answer to the question. All those in favor?
I'll let Vanessa May know that they have the bid and so they can begin our insurance documents for next week.
Excellent.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yes, thank you. Let's see, policy committee.
So we have the policies and handbooks listed for a second reading. We just saw these at the June 6th meeting for the first reading. And the changes to the policy reflect updates to graduation requirements, slight change in process to the drug and alcohol use by students and how that's managed. And then the handbooks as listed are updated. So if I could, I'd like to make a motion to accept the policies and handbooks listed as a bundle for the second reading.
Second by Diane. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Excellent. Motion carries. Thank you.
So this motion should be executive session to discuss the hiring of an assistant director of special services per 1 MRSA 405, section 6 and section A.
So I would like to entertain a motion that says exactly what Pat just said.
So moved.
Second by Molly. All those in favor? Excellent. So Andrea, thank you.
I have to stick around because I need your docs. I'm really hoping that somebody here will check them all so that I don't have to keep you after the meeting. Somebody would be willing to do that?
We don't want
And
to stay
this one,
after
I'm the
school.
only one that has to sign this one, correct?
I was gonna start putting X's in places.
Right.
You will take care of that, correct?
I will take care of who is here
Who's here?
at the meeting, but if someone would please check. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Perry, we will need you to linger longer.
It's okay to say too.
I'll sign quickly.
Her role is fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very good. We're back. I'd like to enter a motion that we offer the position of Assistant Director of Special Services to Chrissy Ferreira, as we discussed. Yeah, very good. No worries.
Second
She's
by
ready.
Molly.
Second by Molly.
no further questions or comments. All those in favor? Hurrah.
Congratulations and welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
And that's it for the agenda, so
Just
we can adjourn, but you can't leave.
Right.
We need to get all of the stuff signed, and you heard Andrea. I can't let you leave until I verify that everyone has signed what they're
Molly's
supposed
been
to
checking
sign.
too, so she's
Okay,
good.
Good, Molly's good at that. So-
Yeah.
Voted to give you authority for hires in the summer, right?
She's like me.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
you
just,
did.
those things come to me and then I do begin.
Yeah, no, you did, so I have that
And
authority.
Becky, the blue ones on these two you missed, just like I did on the last
Ah.
ones.
Sheesh, okay.
All right, so we're adjourned.
We're adjourned.
Six
Thank you.
oh
Thank you.
five.
It was nice
Welcome.
meeting
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.